In the heart of winter, a starving girl raised bow, her hands frozen, breath shallow. She had one arrow left, one chance to survive. The winter was merciless, a silent predator that crept into her bones, stealing her warmth, strength, and she would keep moving. And then she saw it. Golden eyes, staring, unblinking, watching her from the shadows. A wolf, but not just any beast, huge, something ancient. It did not snarl or lunge. It only stood there, as if it was waiting. A warning? A challenge? Or something far worse? Her fingers stiffened around the bow. She pulled the string back, her breath a trembling ghost in the air. The wolf did not move. It only watched. And then she let the arrow fly. The wolf fell. The snow turned red. Silence swallowed the forest. For a moment she thought she had won, that she had survived. But she had no idea. The true hunt had just begun. The story begins in the mortal lands where Feyre Archeron, the youngest of 3 sisters, struggles to keep her family alive. Their once wealthy family has fallen into poverty, and Feyre has taken on the role of provider, hunting in the frozen woods to put food on the table. The world building here is crucial. It's bleak, cold, and oppressive, mirroring Feyre's internal state. Her family is fractured, father crippled, and her sisters selfish and ungrateful. It was a cold, dark night. Feyre and her family were huddled around a small, flickering fire in their tiny cabin. Dinner was simple, a thin stew, but tonight there was something different about it. The meat in the pot wasn't the usual rabbit or squirrel. It was wolf meat, the very wolf Feyre had killed that morning in the forest. Her family didn't ask questions. They never did. Her father, once a wealthy merchant, was now broken, silent, and aimless in his own misery to care. Nesta, her older sister, kept the usual cold and distant expression, while Elaine, the kinder of the two, quietly sipped her stew, grateful for the food. But Feyre felt a strange weight in her chest. She couldn't shake the feeling killing that wolf wasn't as simple as it seemed. There had been something odd about it. Its size, its golden eyes, and the way it didn't run or fight back. Then, a sudden loud crash echoed through the cabin. It wasn't a knock. The wind wasn't responsible. It was something heavy, a furious presence. The door shook. Another slam, harder this time. Elaine dropped her spoon, eyes wide with fear. Nesta's hand tightened around her knife. Their father just sat there, frozen in shock. Before anyone could move, the door burst open with a deafening roar. A monstrous beast stood in the doorway, huge, with golden fur, burning eyes, and its growl so fierce it seemed to shake the very ground. The creature spoke, not in growls, but in words, furious words, accusing Feyre of murdering one of its own. The wolf she killed wasn't a mere animal. It was a faerie, a magical being from the other side of the wall that separated their world from Prythian, the land of the fairies. The beast demanded payment for the life Feyre had taken, a life for a life. She had 2 choices, die right there, or come with him to Prythian and live out the rest of her days in his realm. With no real choice, Feyre went with the beast. He took her to his grand estate in Prythian, a place so beautiful, yet so strange. The beast, who could also shift into a human form, was Tamlin, one of the High Lords of Prythian. Though Feyre was his prisoner, Tamlin treated her with unexpected kindness. She was given her own room, fine clothes, and meals unlike anything she had ever tasted. But the house was quiet, and there was an invisible tension hanging over everything. As the days passed, Feyre learned more about Tamlin and the magical world she was now trapped in. Prythian wasn't just full of beautiful creatures and shimmering magic. It was also cursed. An ancient dark magic was spreading like a disease, and Tamlin's court was caught in its grip. Masks were magically stuck to the faces of Tamlin and his people, a cruel reminder of the curse that bound them. Despite her fear, Feyre found herself growing closer to Tamlin. He wasn't just a beast, he was a protector, fighting to keep his people safe from the looming darkness. Slowly, their relationship shifted from cold silence to cautious friendship, and then a deep matters friends. But danger was never far away. Feyre soon discovered the curse was the work of Amarantha, a powerful and wicked fairy who ruled from beneath a mountain. She had cursed Tamlin and his court. The only way to break it was through an act of true love, something Tamlin could not openly ask for. When Feyre learned the truth, it was out of time. Tamlin was taken by Amarantha, dragged to her court under the mountain, and Feyre, desperate to save him, followed. Under the mountain, Amarantha gave Feyre a brutal bargain. Solve 3 deadly trials or answer a riddle, and Tamlin would be freed. The trials were cruel and horrifying, tests of strength, wit, and will. Feyre suffered through each, coming close to death more than once. But she refused to give up. She would not let Tamlin remain a prisoner. But even when she survived the trials, Amarantha refused to let them go. The final hope lay in a riddle, and with her last bit of strength, Feyre solved it. The answer was love. In that moment, the curse shattered. Tamlin regained his full power and killed Amarantha. The masks fell from his court, and Prythian breathed once again. But Feyre was not the same. She had died, her mortal body broken by Amarantha's final attack. Yet the High Lords of Prythian, moved by her sacrifice, each gave her a piece of their magic. Feyre was no longer just a human. She had become a faerie, immortal, powerful, and forever tied to the world she once feared. And so, the story didn't end with a simple happily ever after. It ended with Feyre standing at the edge of a new life, caught between the human girl she once was and the faerie she had become, knowing that her story and Prythian's was only just beginning. And that's the story of A Court of Thorns and Roses. But Feyre's journey doesn't end here. The world of Prythian is vast, filled with more secrets, greater dangers, and deeper loves than she could have ever imagined. Would you have made the same choice as Feyre did? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more of these magical realms, don't forget to like and subscribe,